Hello everybody, I am RedWolf Player and I'm here to talk to you about a game called Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Now, the Thousand Year Door, as it's commonly referred to, or also TTYD, is a game that came out in July of 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube. Now, this game is also playable on the Nintendo Wii. If you have a Wii and the GameCube game, you can put the little disc in, it just goes and plays. And so basically, this game is a sequel to Paper Mario, game we talked about last week. I played both in a row because I just absolutely love both games. And so, something I want to throw out right away is you're going to see the same categories for this game compared to Paper Mario. We're going to go over the same things for each. Step A is because it's a sequel. It's just kind of the natural progression of, we talked about these things for this game. The sequel, it builds upon those things, and I'm gonna talk about that, I think, at the end in my outro. So, last thing I want to say before we jump in is that there are going to be spoilers in this video, and so if you go to the description, there's going to be a little thing. It's going to say, like, timestamp, and then press here to skip spoilers, something like that. And so, if you don't want any spoilers, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you click that button. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. In The Thousand Year Door, the entire idea is that the game is designed like you are in a paper world. The characters are all paper, and the environment is a mixture of cardboard and paper. Even some of the bosses share this kind of 3D cardboard look, and it still fits in very, very well with the paper vibes. Being on the GameCube, you think some of this would look a little outdated, but playing this game today, it looks perfect for me. I would compare this to something I could see on the Switch today with this art style. And so, just knowing you can see every detail in the characters and the environments and just how freaking awesome it looks, we're going to give visuals 58 points. So this game throws a slight twist on a classic story. Now, as usual in a Mario game, Peach is kidnapped, but this time it's not actually by Bowser. It's instead by some other organization, and, throughout the game, it plays up a lot of the tropes you expect in a Mario game, but that's almost more of the backstory. The overall goal in the game is you're trying to collect the 7 magical celestial objects, in this game it's a crystal star, in order to save Peach and the world. However, the game is then split up into chapters, and each chapter is really its own story. Some of them are a lot longer than others and involve a little more backtracking. I'm looking at chapter 4 here. However, the writing for each chapter really brings each one into the little piece of land that you're really exploring in that chapter. And so, just looking at the story as a whole, I want to give it 92 points. In this game, you are able to gain partners to join you on your journey. These partners will help you in the overworld by helping you solve puzzles in each chapter, and also helping you reach items you maybe couldn't before. Also, these partners end up being very vocal in the game. They have something to say after every little thing that happens, and a lot of people in a lot of games, I think that'd be something to complain about, but I never got sick of listening to what the partners had to say in Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door. I love listening to every single word, and it was always a unique thing that they would say. Your partners will also help you in combat, supplying you with additional moves every turn, and the partners also have their own health bar and can actually take attacks in front of you. Because of that, we're going to go ahead and give partners 61 points. The number one collectible I go for in this game is badges. Badges are the power source in this game that they allow you to use all sorts of different attacks and abilities. These badges do use something called badge points, or BP, to equip, and this is something you earn from leveling up, which we'll talk about in a bit. There are some other collectibles in this game, but I didn't find them as interesting, and I didn't have this excitement to really go after them, and so, because of all of that, because of how great the badges are basically, we're going to give collectibles 50 points. They say life's a stage, and that is especially true in Thousand Year Door. You are literally on a stage when you do combat. The point of this is your crowd actually helps power up some of your attacks that you can use after gaining crystal stars. Now, besides the stage part of combat, this is pretty standard turn-based combat. Your partner and yourself are taking turns with a group of enemies. You want to remove all of their heart points or HP before they remove all of yours. You do this by taking attacks and using something called action commands, where you can actually deal extra damage on top of your base attack. And you can also use attacks that you gain from badges, and those usually require flower points or FP to activate. Now, combat's also how you level up, duh. And so you'll earn star points after every fight, and once you hit 100, you're going to gain a level, and you can upgrade either your HP, FP, or BP. Overall, combat's really fun in this game. I really enjoy just being able to go into each fight and seeing what I can do. We're going to give it 75 points. So this world overall is very interesting. Every chapter I played felt very long, but I looked back at it and really thought about it, and I realized that's because I backtracked quite a bit in this game. Again, I alluded to this in Chapter 4, and I'm going to go back there. I have to go between the start and the end points about 5 times, which makes them really not the start and the end. They're just kind of these 2 end points. But I go between them about 5 times just to get through the basic story. It takes me about 4 minutes, maybe 5 to do this travel, and then depending on what you're doing at the location, it's going to take me another 5 to 10 minutes to achieve that. And so it really made the level feel a lot longer, but it wasn't really that long, and there wasn't that much I was exploring. This is seen in a lot of the chapters in the game. However, even when I think about this, I still look back at these levels with fond memories, just because I really loved how beautiful they were at the end of the day, and how much, even though I wasn't finding a whole lot, I still liked being in this area. And so, it's not great, but I still want to give exploration 21 points. Now in this game, you generally play as Mario. However, there are 2 other characters you can play as. First, you can play as Princess Peach. When you're playing as her, you talk with the computer and explore a little, but you really don't do that much. This is where you learn about the evil organization that is working against Mario, and you'll typically complete some simple minigames. However, second, you can play as Bowser, and holy cow, is this hilarious every time. I love playing as Bowser. It's always very, very simple, but the writing in here, superb. You also get some fun old school side-scroller sections where you can become kind of this Ultra Bowser and go through the level like a champ. It's a good time, and so, overall, just with this little extra bit, I want to give it 38 points. Alright, and so before I jump into all the scores, something I want to mention is something I mentioned at the beginning of the video, actually, where you may have noticed that all of these categories really are the same as the ones that I did in Paper Mario, and that's because this is a sequel. This is something I think I'm going to end up doing for a lot of sequels. I'll add more or remove as necessary, but really, this sequel just built upon what the original did, and so it just felt right to use the same categories because, they were great categories, I think, for the first game, and this game really just built upon them. I mean, if we look at visuals, we got 58. Story, we got up to 92 points in story. It really just hit a lot of notes for me. And partners, we got 61, collectibles 50, we got combat at 75, exploration at 21, and last but not least, those fun extra scenes at 38. And so that puts the 1,000-Year Door at 395 total points. That's about 30 points above the original, and this truly is, in my opinion, a better game. The writing is better. That's really where a big point gain was, I think, is the story. And so, it just was better written. There was a lot more funniness. The partners were just more alive for me, I felt, compared to the first game. And so that's why I gave it that score. This game is now number 1 on the list. So that's 2 weeks in a row that we got a new number 1. Let's see if this happens next week. Let's keep going. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video today. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go ahead in my description. If you want to see some previous videos, I'll have links down below in the description as well. Otherwise, subscribe to this channel so that you can see more of my rankings. And otherwise, thanks for watching. This was a RedWolf player talking about Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.